recent research, it highlights a significant shift towards what's being termed as frontier firm, the organizations that are strategically leveraging AI to move beyond reactive operations and embrace proactive innovation.
What we refer to as these frontier firms, it's not really about an actual firm, but it's really about this mindset. Do you have this mindset of innovation? Do you have this mindset around being an AI first organization, leading with that, looking for areas and opportunities where AI can fundamentally enhance the employee experience?
Now, as AI becomes more integrated into business, the ethical considerations become paramount. Canada is positioning itself as a leader in responsible.
The other piece in terms of responsible AI relates to data, your data privacy, your data residency, security that's being implemented, how your data is being used.
Listeners, if you are preparing your organization for the future work with AI, then please remember a proactive strategy and an empowered workforce are key to becoming the frontier firm. This is Maheen again. Welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast, where we explore the transformative power of technology and its impact on the future of work. Today, we're diving into the world of artificial intelligence and how it's reshaping the business landscape, particularly for small to medium-sized businesses in Canada. Now, recent research, it highlights a significant shift towards what's being termed as frontier firm, the organizations that are strategically leveraging AI to move beyond reactive operations and embrace proactive innovation. This discussion will provide valuable insights into how businesses can adapt to this new era and equip their employees for the AI-driven future. And joining us to discuss that is Kree Govender, the Director of SMB Sales at Microsoft Canada, a leading technology company committed to empowering every person and every organization to achieve more through the power of AI. And today, we'll discuss moving from reaction to strategy with AI, equipping your employees for the AI era, and practical next steps for SMBs to leverage AI for business growth. So without further ado, let's welcome our guest, Kree. Kree, welcome back.
Thank you.
We love the first segment of this conversation. We'd love to kind of delve deeper into this topic from moving from reaction to strategy. Really understanding what sets these innovative companies apart can really offer valuable lessons for others aiming to thrive in this new era. Now, Kree, the recent Microsoft Work Trend Index, it introduces a concept of the frontier firm and organizations that are strategically leveraging AI. Can you explain what defines a frontier firm and how traditional businesses can adopt strategies to close the gap and remain competitive in an AI-driven economy?
For the longest time, Maheen, business has been dominated by those with the biggest purse strings and by size. And that is no longer the case. What we refer to as these frontier firms are, it's not really about an actual firm, but it's really about this mindset.
Right.
Do you have this mindset of innovation? Do you have this mindset around being an AI first organization, leading with that, looking for areas and opportunities where AI can fundamentally either enhance the employee experience, enhance the customer experience, promote innovation, and ultimately even drive out net new products and value streams to you, all whilst reducing cost. So this is the frontier firm, a firm that adopts that as a mantra and a mindset in terms of how they go to business. So it's a very exciting time, and all of this is being underpinned by AI, and right now, even AI agents.
Wow, that's a very insightful concept, Kree, and it highlights the proactive and strategic mindset that's becoming essential for businesses in the age of AI. Now, embracing AI requires more than just technology. We all know that. It requires a workforce that's ready to work alongside it. Let's now discuss how businesses can really equip their employees for this new era. Because adopting AI is not just about technology, it's really about how do we work with it. Now, with AI being like like that, Kree, how should leaders really rethink their approach to talent development and organizational culture to ensure that their employees are equipped to thrive in an AI driven environment?
Mm. So I'm going to go back a few years, and when I say a few years, probably just after 2023, and we had done significant research
Mm.
in terms of how are customers adopting these technologies. And what we found was that 60% of employees were the ones that were actually bringing the AI tools into the environments. So the change was being driven from the workforce,
Mm-hmm.
not from leadership initially. And there were two forms. There was bring your own AI, where you work responsibly with the organization to bring that in. And then there was shadow AI. And you can
Right.
just imagine shadow AI is where you're not working with them. And that opens up an absolute plethora of challenges for organizations,
Mm-hmm.
from security, privacy, trust, etc. In any event, what we've seen in the latest Work Trends Index is that now that things have settled, change is actually being driven from first level managers. They're the ones. So more than 75% of that type of change is being driven by leadership now. So they've cottoned on to how powerful this can actually be, and they're leading the charge. Why is this important? Because they're creating psychological safety by role modeling it themselves. Number two, they're encouraging experimentation from these teams that they work with.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the psychological safety, together with creating a role model that, or behaviors that you're role modeling yourself, and then finally rewarding these people through performance, or number two, just by gamifying certain things, or even having contests within the organization. All of that comes together to really empower employees and leaders alike to lean forward into this.
Mm-hmm.
We were challenged by Satya a few weeks ago on one of our town halls, and he said, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about how you can see a representation of your workflow working in concert with AI. Not used these exact words, but that was the essence of what I took away from that and distilled from that conversation. So when you feel empowered like that, when I go home every day, I sit and I think about things like, where can I make my day smarter? How can I drive even more productivity? And at the outset, I was probably gaining an extra hour out of my day. Today, I'm up to effectively about 27 hours at the
Mm-hmm.
moment. So I'm driving even more productivity out of this.
That underscores the importance of a holistic approach to AI adoption, really focusing on not just on the tools, but also on the people who will be using them. Listeners, if you are preparing your organization for the future work with AI, then please remember a proactive strategy and an empowered workforce are key to becoming the frontier firm. Now let's get back to our conversation with Kree and explore practical steps for SMBs. Now, building on the need to prepare your team, let's kind of dive into practical, more actionable steps, Kree, that SMEs can take to start leveraging AI for meaningful growth. What are some concrete first steps that you'd recommend that small and medium sized businesses can take to begin leveraging AI for tangible business growth? And where should they focus their initial efforts to see the most significant impact?
Mm. So the first thing, Maheen, is do not treat this as episodic.
Mm-hmm.
Your journey and your experience with AI needs to be frequent and it needs to become habitual.
Right.
If you treat it as something that's episodic, you're going to have erratic results and you're never really going to bed it into your organization. So if we take a step back from that, here are the things that you need to do. Number one, really look first and foremost and start your journey with something super simple.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, that's productivity.
Right.
So from Microsoft, we often refer to Copilot that's embedded in all of these applications that our customers know and love. So you start your AI journey from the comfort of these applications. And we refer to it as the UI for AI
Mm-hmm.
for that reason. And that starts off with help me rewrite an email, help me create this PowerPoint, summarize my meeting notes. So it's a low friction point where you can enhance your productivity. And if customers don't have a paid for Copilot subscription, guess what? We have Copilot Chat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a Microsoft subscriber, you get free access to this. And it's also available to those that don't have a 365 account. The only differences between the two are if you've got a 365 account with Copilot Chat, you can work within the confines of your tenant. So none of that data is exposed.
Right.
So you can really start building what I refer to as AI fluency in this very low friction environment, knowing that your data is secure, your data is safe, your privacy is being adhered to. And over time, as you build this up, you move towards building reflexive AI. So that's the first space.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've built that, what happens is it really opens the aperture for leaders and employees alike to then start thinking about where there are other practical use cases for AI in their business. They may see something in their business process and say, wow, that's a fantastic space
Right.
that we could potentially use this. And then they'll work with their leadership and their teams, often to either use one of the products that are already available, because there's so many that are already built into our suite,
Mm-hmm.
to do that, or go off and use something like Azure AI Foundry and start to build out unique use cases for their organization.
That provides some very actionable starting points, Kree. Thank you for that. For that SMBs are looking to explore the benefits of AI without really feeling overwhelmed. Now as AI becomes more integrated into business, the ethical considerations they become paramount. Canada is really positioning itself as a leader in responsible AI. Now let's discuss what that looks like for SMBs. Kree, what does responsible AI look like in practice for SMBs here in Canada? And how can smaller organizations ensure that they are leveraging AI ethically and responsibly?
Responsible AI is a critical topic, and you've got to look at it in both lenses. You as a consumer,
Mm-hmm.
so whichever provider or model that you're going to go with, you want to ensure that there's a degree or a high degree of transparency on how that model is being presented to you.
Right.
And also, if you're using this and you're engaging with customers, it's your right and your obligation to be able to say to them, hey, we're using an AI model for this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where transparency comes into this. And as far as possible, you want to be able to track and trace back to how the decisions are being made by the AI, right? And ensure that there's as little bias that's being built into that as possible. The other piece in terms of responsible AI relates to data, your data privacy, your data residency, security that's being implemented, how your data is being used, privacy as it relates to security. Those are critical components as well. So, whichever provider you're engaging with, and also how you're doing this for your customers, it works both ways. This is an area where, as Microsoft, we excel. We will
Mm-hmm.
never use our customers' data to train our models.
Right.
Your data is your data. And we also ensure that we stay in compliance with whichever country in which we operate. So you could build here and operate globally, knowing that we take care of a lot of the compliance for you and ensure that you're compliant and you stay within the right ethical and AI frameworks on that front. And the final piece in terms of responsible AI is keeping a human in the loop,
Mm.
because this is not a pure abdication of something. Ultimately, you still want to have a human reason over this and make a judgment at the end of it. So you may take the drudgery or the repetitive work and cycles and hand that off to an AI to do that for you, but it needs to come back to a human to have a human in the loop.
That's a very crucial consideration, Kree. And building trust and ensuring ethical procedures are essential for the long term success of AI adoption. Now, building on responsible AI practices, let's hear a personal story about embracing AI to transform workflows and really unlock new opportunities for growth. You mentioned deliberately disrupting your own ways of working by inviting AI into your process. Kree, can you please elaborate on that experience and then mindset shift it sparked regarding leveraging AI for both marginal and exponential gains?
Mhm. So here's one that I've used AI for, and it's a non standard use case. Yeah. I have quite a few mentors And I often approach these people with various discussions as it relates to mentoring. And then one day I had a thought and I said,
Mm-hmm.
how about if I ask my co pilot to assume a persona, and if I share with it certain key information about me? So I uploaded a version of my resume, I
Mm-hmm.
shared with it some transcripts from my journal, and then I asked it to start mentoring me. So this is a non-standard use case for many people, but the insights that I gleaned from this, the types of discussions that we went into, it really left me staggering. So much so that number one, I've not replaced my human mentors, but now I've augmented them with an AI mentor as well on a weekly basis. I set up time and I chat with my AI mentor
Wow.
through Copilot. So that's one use case. The other use case is where I've built an AI agent that helps me with going out and doing customer research.
Mm-hmm.
We have a researcher agent in Microsoft, but this connects and is able to look through multiple accounts, push that information through to our researcher, which does deep research and comes back and collates all of that information for me.
Right.
So that really helps me boost my productivity. It allows me to show up with so much more preparedness when I'm entering into engagements,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows a level of proximity to what my customers really want to talk about, where their key pain points may be, and also allows me to be much more of a strategic advisor to them.
That's a very insightful personal example of how even experienced professionals like yourselves they can benefit from embracing AI to challenge assumptions, really unlock that new potential. Kree, this was a very insightful conversation with you yet again, and we'd love to conclude by summarizing some key, insights for our listeners and really highlight some of Microsoft's resources. Um, what are the key takeaways that you'd like our listeners to remember from this conversation, and taking forward, like, what resources or initiatives from Microsoft Canada would you recommend for SMEs that are looking to learn more about leveraging AI for growth?
So, number one, experiment. If you've not started in your AI journey, it can start off with something as free and simple and secure as Microsoft Copilot Chat. So, if you just go to Bing and you type in Copilot Chat, you can get free access to that. If you're a Microsoft subscriber, and even if you don't have Copilot, that data once again lives within your tenant. So, start your experimentation and start to build AI fluency and eventually moving towards reflexive AI. That's number one. Number two, visit our resources that we have available. Once again, as I mentioned, this AI journey can't be episodic, neither should learning.
Hmm.
Learning needs to be continuous, and there are so many micro learnings that are out there today that one can leverage off. Do that. That will start to empower you in terms of how you need to be thinking about this age of AI, how you need to be thinking about agents, and then you can start to take practical steps behind that. Some of the key resources, we have an AI skills navigator that is a wonderful resource. Number two, if you go to learn.microsoft.com, there are multiple pathways there depending on where you want to go, and most of that training is free. And then finally, we have a host of on-demand sessions that we have, webinars, partner-hosted events, and even in-person events
Mm-hmm.
as well. So there are many ways in which you can kickstart and boost your learning journey for yourself, for your teams, and for your organizations as well. But the key piece is start that journey today. If you cannot, in inverted commas, waste hours, you will lose years.
Mm. Thank you so much, Kree, for being so detailed and thorough and for sharing your expertise and your valuable insights with us. I mean, your practical advice really on this, on the future and the perspective on the future work with AI are incredibly helpful for our listeners that are looking to seek for that information. And yet again, we really appreciate your time that you took to join us. So thank you for that.
It's an absolute pleasure, as always, Maheen.
And that was an insightful conversation again with Kree Govender, Director of SMB Sales at Microsoft Canada, this time on the transformative power of AI for small to medium sized businesses, the importance of strategic approach, and equipping employees for the AI era. Microsoft Canada, it offers a range of resources to support SMBs in their journey, so please do check them out. Again, thank you for tuning into the podcast. We appreciate your continued support. Please be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more expert insights and resources that can help your business thrive. You can also visit our website, CanadianSME.ca, for valuable information and tools. Until next time, please keep innovating and striving for success. We'll see you in the next episode.